Okay, so it's 5:43 on the 18th, which then I realized, because I was like 5:43, but then it was like 3:45. So it's one of those countdown ones. So it's 5:43 on the 18th. And I don't know. It just is like so much fucking nonsense. I swear to God. Um on This is just kind of strange how like there's this real uptick on divisive tactics or something, where it's like, I swear to God, this is gotta be fake. Is Some of this stuff is so stupid because there's like one after another of these videos just ridiculing boomers. Boomers suck. And they're upset because boomers are taking all the Social Security. Boomers destroyed the economy. Boomers destroyed the world. Boomers, like, what? I don't even get it. I don't get what. It is such a generational divide, and they have no clue. Like, they weren't raised at that time. They don't even know anything about it. And I don't know. The whole thing is just weird, and it seems fake. Somebody was pointing out this whole thing about Rob Reiner. Stop. This Max, stop it. Somebody was pointing out, God, all the dogs are acting so weird. They're all acting weird. And last night Stella was like choking, and she kept doing this weird cough and snorting thing in her nose. And I did a longer video. I did a few short ones on here to show, but they're always like 15 seconds. You can't show very much. I did a longer one on TikTok where you could really see more of the weird clouds and the weird sky and stuff. And somebody was saying, oh, the dark is the GRAPHENENE. But which, you know, that's an issue that goes back to these things. Then which all this stuff, I knew they were going to figure out ways for us to all get this stuff. It's all just, watching how, well, if they get this much and then they get this, because everything is this experiment, and we're just being studied all the time. But but anyways, whatever it was, it seems to really be making the dogs sick. And so I feel lost. I swear to God, I feel so out of it. So okay, so it's the 18th. Oh yeah, it's the day before the end of the world. The first thing that popped up on when I took it off the ocean waves, my mom's on my YouTube. And I felt bad to take her off because I pay for no commercials. And I don't know if she even realizes. I don't even know how she got on it, because it was like when I was at her house and I started being like, what is all this religious stuff coming up on my thing? What is this? I'm not watching this. And it would keep saying it was in my history. And then I figured out, oh, she's watching this, and she puts it on all night. So it goes all night long, these preachers. And so in the morning I get up, and they're not always across my thing, but they're always in my history. Like if I go into my history, it's like fucking 8 of them every night. And then it does send me some stuff, I'm sure, on my algorithm from that. But our algorithm is more than just some mechanical thing, because it's like I don't know how to explain it, because it's like my guides send me stuff. So it's like I don't know. It's weird. This stuff is just weird. It's like on another level that what we can understand. So, but that's what's supposed to be about the awakening, is increasing our understanding so that we can start wrapping our heads around stuff more, I think. which, oh yeah, MIT professor who was working on these two major things was found. I think it's a show, I swear to God, because of the things he was working on. But anyways, on this one thing that popped up this morning, it said the two things you'll see before the rapture happens. So I didn't watch it, but the I know, and it made me think this morning. It's weird how, you know, this certain group thinks they're the only ones with the answers. They don't even consider any other groups, communication, perception, nothing. It's only what they believe. And so it's like, okay, rapture, oh, whatever. But the MIT guy, so he was working on, he was young. I don't know, maybe like 40 or something. I don't know. Some people don't think that's young, but I think it's young. But he was working on free energy and something with NUKE kind of. And then he was also working on this quantum theory on changing our like electronics. So technology, that was creepy sounding. Technology, it was the drain or something. So that technology to switch from what we're on now into this quantum, which that's a big part of this whole thing we're going into, is this quantum. So that's why I was like, okay, this has got to be part of the show, so they get these certain words out there, so people start hearing these words and start, well, what is that? What is a quantum? What is this? What is that? Because that is what brings it into our reality. And that's what, we're heading for, and it does come into our reality, and somehow it comes into our reality, and we play a part. So that's a part of our part, is to wonder and question and move in these directions. And so anyways, when I heard that he was found gone, and I saw how young he was, then I was like, okay, this has got to be something, because his position and stuff, and just randomly found gone, which they didn't say anything about a red tie, but but then, yeah, what they said he was working on, I was like, okay, this is, and somebody was pointing out, which I thought this was interesting. So it was Bill Hader, this is what supposedly started this whole fight at Conan's, was Bill Hader was talking to somebody, and Rob Reiner's kid, I can't think of his name, he comes walking up to, I don't know, talk to the people, and Bill Hader turns to him and says this, and who knows if any of this is even real. Bill Hader supposedly turns to him and says, this is a private conversation. And so the son gets pissy, and he stomps off and starts having a little pissy fit, which supposedly he has been sober since he was 19. And then the mom has been supposedly saying how hard it is to deal with his drugs and mental illness. So there's inconsistencies all over the place. And then, so then Rob came up to him and told him he was being inappropriate. And then that caused them to get into a screaming match. And then Rob left with his wife, and the son stayed, but then supposedly he went and got a hotel. And then he decided to leave the hotel to come and, we know how it turns out. And then when the daughter gets there, finds her parents, she decides to call Billy Crystal. And Billy Crystal comes over and goes and checks the bodies before they call 911. Okay. What in the holy showbiz are we doing here? Like, this is absurd. And so somebody was talking about, it's not just this weird one. What about the one with Gene Hackman? I'm like, oh yeah, that one was weird. That was like January or something, and that was a real weird one too. And then there was another one, and this person, what was their role? They were also in their 70s. It was also her and her husband. And her claim to fame was maybe Dancing with the Stars or something. Like the person who made the show or something. I don't know. Somebody who I didn't know who she was. But she was also this year found with her husband. And they were both gone. And there's a whole weird thing around theirs. And this person who is being said that they did it. So, I don't know. That's weird. The heater seems, I don't know, everything seems weird. Everything seems so fucking weird. I was just looking in the mirror. I swear to God, it said 68. And then it says 70. And now it says 70 over there. But it didn't say 70 a minute ago. What? And I did put it on 70. God, things are weird. So anyways, but that whole thing is weird. And it is weird. The Gene Hackman thing, that whole thing is weird. And supposedly the wife keels over from the, mouse virus. And then they crated the dog. So the dog stays in the crate and starves to death. And Gene doesn't know how to take care of himself because he's got the Alzheimer's. And so they all pass. And then the daughter comes and finds them. It's like, some of this stuff is just weird. But so on Rob, though, where you think like, well, what would be the point? Which don't forget, it's also this guy who was in the show with him goes the same day in Amsterdam, supposedly from the Big C. So I don't know. It all seems so weird. But so there's more stuff on Rob, which this is something I think is kind of strange because the people's reaction that I'm seeing to the videos. And I'm like, okay, was I missing something? Or do these people like what? So Rob Reiner's dad was Carl Reiner. He was in shows. Like if you watch old movies, he was in movies and stuff. I don't know that he became like a director and all the stuff that Rob did, but I mean, he was in shows even when he was old. I can picture him, but I can't think of all of the different shows, but he was like a common face in shows, I thought. Seems like he was like on Dick Van Dyke Show or something. But anyways, so his dad was in the biz. And so then Rob had a foot in, and then he went on All in the Family, is the first I know of. And then he made a place for himself, got all, however it works in that place, and got more things. And then he became, because I forgot he was married to Laverne and Shirley. He was married to Laverne for a while. And then, so this other wife's a different wife. But I don't know that he had kids with Shirley or Laverne, so I don't know. I'd forgot they were even married. That was just where somebody was putting in his history bio or something. But anyway, so there was some kind of roast to him a few years back. I'm not even sure when this roast was, but he still looked old. And Al Franken looked old. And Al Franken was the one talking that everybody's showing this video of. And his whole thing that he's talking about is what Rob went through as a kid, and that Carl used to come and get in bed with him, and then they were making all this like jokes and stuff about it. Then Carl started letting all of his friends do it too. So then it was like, so Rob was just a little boy toy. And so it's like, okay, so this information had to come into our reality because, well, the people who I keep seeing talk about it keep on thinking that it's Rob was doing it to the son that did him in. It's like, well, I'm hearing that it was done to Rob, not that he did it to his son. But maybe I didn't hear the whole thing or something. But all these people keep talking about, oh, so that's why he did it. This is what he did. And then, so that's weird. And then, and that's not the first one of these roasts that I've seen where they just talk about all of this kitty stuff. It's like, yeah, man, how do they think like this is funny? Or is this a way that somebody just gets to say the truth with it seeming like it's a joke? I don't even know. I don't know what this atmosphere, this Hollywood weird atmosphere of like bullshit. I can't even remember. It seems like Rob Lowe's or something had, there's a few. And some of them are talking to the person. Oh, yeah, when you got that 13-year-old, oh, that was so funny. Oh, the way you get those kids, oh, that's so funny. It's like, it's not funny. It's not funny to any of us. So you guys sit and have your own little weirdo joke, I guess. And so then on top of that, now it's coming out that he was a part of the, the collusion that was brought up by Barack of, the relationship with Vladimir and Donald. And so that is, where they were still talk about the TDS situation and Rob and then Donald coming out the next morning after he's been found and talking about his TDS and how extreme it was. Then right away these things start coming out where Rob just nonstop was talking about how much he hated Donald. Every interview it was like, I gotta talk about how much I hate Donald. And then to the point where now he's involved with this, this collusion issue. And so it's like, okay, so we got to bring that back up. We got to make sure that, because there's so many people who are clueless over what's really going on in this world. And so I don't know how they're going to unfold all this. If this is like trying to get the certain people to take down people who they believe and to reveal the lies, and that's the part that wakes them up or something. I'm not sure, like how this is all meant to work out. But so yeah, now there's more stuff coming out over Rob, and I don't know, it's more of the breakdown of the Hollywood perversion too. And I don't even know, if his dad was really doing all that stuff to him. So, anyways, it just doesn't seem accidental. It doesn't seem accidental or whatever. Oh yeah, and so many people talking about Candace now, and then so many people talking about they're in on this together. They're really friends. This is all fake. But Candace comes back out as like a Stepford wife now. She even said. Her beginning thing is like Bosh Shalom or something like that. It's like, oh my God. Everything is like one extreme over this extreme over back and forth, because for however long she's been trying to expose the real, like the rabbis, the perversion, all of this stuff. She's been out there trying to expose it. Besides Macron, besides before Charlie, all this. She was doing interviews with, like an RABBI and questioning them on things. Like, there was so much different stuff. I think I talked about it when I had seen about it back then. And and then their heavy hand in the control of society, which now Finkelstein's thing is rotating through again. And oh yeah, that was weird. Yeah, wherever I was in the dream last night, that was weird. Because it was somebody who I was talking to, and they kept calling us Gorham. And I was like, so you're one of them? Oh man, I can't remember all that dream. That was weird. That just all of a sudden hit me. But, it was long too. And it was something. It was really weird. But anyways, so what she was trying to expose. Now all of a sudden she's supporting. What she was trying to say was no good. Now it's like, oh no, it's great, guys. It's great. Everything's great. And so now all the people are like, what? So see how it has to flip? It has to, you can't just go on the coattails of somebody. You have to, it has to flip. It has to flip the other way to get you to figure out where you stand on it. What do you think about it? And then it has to go to this extreme to push you to really have a reaction. And that's, to me, a part of the awakening. But, and then, like people are, lots of people are talking about like, it's, that this is all fake, this fight. And then there was a bunch of people who were saying, oh, so what, did Charlie walk in the room and now she knows he's not really gone? Because there's a whole bunch, I mean, I'm not the only one out there saying he's not gone. And so I don't know. To me, it's all just a big scripted show. It's all just a fucking show to get us on board of drama, and so that we start waking up. Like, it's for our best interest. It's not like to make things not, it's to help us, even though it's absurd and ludicrous and irritating and there's lots of bullshit. But that's where you got to step back. You can't get caught up in all of their nonsense and bullshit. And because then, you're just, you're like in the rat's nest. You got to step back and just observe it, watch it, and see it what it is. See it what it is, and that is all this stuff to get us to wake up, to come out of this mind control that we've been under, and get us to think for ourselves and to realize what's going on in the world and stuff. So anyways, that's how it seems to me. But it's just lots of weird stuff. Lots of weird stuff. So, and who knows? Like if Rob, if Rob was really a part of these serious crimes, and it was not that he was found there, that he was really taken down to the getting there, or I don't know, because it's all so fake. So even them bringing in Bill Hader into it, it's like, okay, so what's he linked to? Is there gonna be some fucking vein that come off of there? Or something? What was this serious talk about? What was it? Why are you at a party with this serious talk? Like, so, and why are they making such a thing about it? So anyways, it just is like this, everything just falling apart. But a lot of it is a controlled demolition. But it's like, you got to watch what you let fall on you, which shit is getting worse over on the Pacific Northwest. Man, this is exactly what I had been saying too. I had said this and said this and said this when I was living over there. Like, anybody who's been following me that long knows how long I've been talking about this, that this was going to happen. And it's not even to the worst part yet. And, but it already has got everything shut down. So now there is only one access to get over to that side, and it is only Snoqualmie Pass, which right now they're in a blizzard, and the winds keep knocking out the cameras, which, oh my God, Snoqualmie is going to get knocked. And then how are you going to get across? They're going to be trapped. So the one where I told you that the pass closes down every year. So it's closed down now. And it's not just closed because of the weather. It's landslide. So a landslide has happened and it's fucked the road. So that road is fucked because they have to wait now until the road closes till spring, which even if they do early spring, I think it's like around maybe March or April. Then they'd have to go up and start clearing all of the mess that's there and do the repairs. So who knows if it's even going to open at all for the year. Stevens Pass, Ferguson is saying it's not going to open for months. It's washed out. The road's broken all over the place. There's landslides. It's a fucking mess. And so it's closed down the ski resort, which the town, what is that town called? The little German town? Luxembourg? It's a mess. It got flooded, but it's a tourist town, and so now it's not the tourism. Somebody was even showing a video the other day, and it was just like empty. And this is like its time of year. It's a Christmas town, and it's like a little Christmas German town. So, anyways, that whole thing is shut down, and then the 90 is the other way across, and which I had said so many times, the evacuation routes are gonna be fucked, and it's gonna be fucked. So, and there's more storms all this week, and then if the pass, like where, oh man, I just can't even believe. My granddaughter's supposed to be being transported on Tuesday. Hopefully. So, so Snoqualmie is the only way across, and that is a huge, mountain pass. And and it's also by Mount Rainier. So, and there's all this this destabilized. It was something, I saw something else about the Cascadia subduction zone, whatever, like the fault line area, and I don't remember. I think there's another guy who was saying that, oh yeah, this guy, so he says that he does everything by science and by number, like he calculates all these different things, and he said within the next couple days that this whole thing's gonna go, which so many people saying, oh, look, it's fixing to go, and there's so much activity going, and now the table is set. Like, fuck, man. You just think about millions of people trying to get on one road, and when it's, who even knows what the condition's going to be, like the cameras are going out. And there was some one of the wind monitors or something picked up that there was winds 112 miles per hour up there on that hill, up on the mountain. And there was I think it was, oh no, it was the 84. So the 84, okay, so when you're in Washington State, so I've showed these things before. So you're in Washington State. So over here is the water. And then over here is Spokane. Down here is where my kids are. And then over here is, I think they call it the Tri-Cities, like Kennewick, Wenatchee. No, is that Wenatchee? Wenatchee, I think, is somewhere over here. But Kennewick, I don't know. There's 3 cities that are all like right next to each other right here. But a lot of places it's just farmland, so in between. And then so Yakima is farmland. And then you got the whole coast, which is just full. And then Spokane over here, which is a big city, which is going to become the main city of Washington State. So then in order to leave, to come down here where I'm at, which I looked on the new map, and either I'm going to be underwater, this place is either going to be underwater or it's going to be the new coast. So it's hard to tell on the thing, but that's how close it is. It's either going to be under the water or right on the border of the water. So this is either going to be oceanfront or it's going to be under the ocean. So but so you go down here. So even if you come from here, you have to cross over here and go down here. Okay, so then Oregon's here. And Utah is somewhere I was looking to. Utah's like here. And Idaho is like here. And so Oregon is here. And so when I would leave, I would go down, and then I would have to get on this to go through Oregon. So you're going through all of these mountain passes. They aren't as extreme as the ones crossing through Washington. That's not as extreme as the Cascades, but there's all mountains. And so you have to go through this. So as soon as you get out of here, you get on the 84. And the 84 is what you stay on for a couple hundred miles as you go through these passes. And then here, even the 84 is all through Idaho. So, and the 84 is new to me. And 90s right now, the only way to cross out from the east. And, which there was a washout or something, but they fixed it or something real quick. My daughter said it was only washed out for one day. But now it's the only way across. Like, and it's this blizzard and the windstorm, and there's just a whole bunch more to go in this system. And so the 84 is this long road through all these paths and stuff. So the 84 yesterday, it was so icy and windy, I guess, and trucks were tipping over. So I was thinking, was that the 90 where I saw that? No, it was the 84. So it's not like I could just like leave and go over there. The roads are all fuckery, and then the winds knocking trucks over and stuff. Like you're next to one of those trucks and they tip over on you. So there's all sorts of like wrecks and stuff. But yeah, that was my way to get out. Because the other way, if you go up Idaho, that way is even more treacherous. Like, I don't know about over in the East Coast. I know, like, in the Midwest, it's not as mountainy and stuff. But over here on the West, there's so much mountains that you gotta go across. And it's more treacherous. And people are gonna find out how treacherous because when they start trying to evacuate, like if shit really goes down in the next couple days with the volcanoes and earthquakes, then because if the earthquakes are already going, there's tons of earthquakes going. So it's not like, oh yeah, no earthquakes are going. They're already going. They're going 4s and 5s. These aren't little ones. And they're going all up and down the coast. And what was it? I saw somebody in Oregon. I saw a couple people in Oregon talking. Oh, I can't remember what they were saying. I can't remember what they were saying because I've seen some people in Montana. Northern Idaho is being blasted. But so the earthquakes are going. So that it keeps shifting all of these plates. So it only takes, like if they're on the edge, like what it's like when you have stuff piled and then it just takes one little thing and it all goes. So it's got one little thing and it all goes. And we're not having access to seeing what's underneath. We're just having to trust the science. Trust them. Okay. When you have some out there saying, hey, everybody, something bad's about to go, and nobody's listening. I mean, there was scientists that were saying this thing off of Oregon is about to go. They thought it was going to go in September. And they said when it does, it's on the verge. It's going to go at any time. And they felt sure it was going to go before the end of the year, which we're at the end of the year and we got all these problems going. And it was Montana where I saw all these trees went down. It was like a tree hit another tree. They all were going down. And somebody just happened to be, I think they were videoing the wind that was going from their house and all the trees started going. And they're like, oh shit, there goes all my trees. Luckily, they weren't on their house, but so once that goes, then if that doesn't cause the volcanoes to start erupting, and it's like 5 volcanoes in Washington State, and then I think I heard like there's 3 or something in Oregon. I don't know how many in California. There's volcanoes and shit all over around here, which I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things that you didn't really know. It's like, fuck, I don't know there's so many volcanoes around here. So, but the Mount Rainier, which I think is Mount Adams is the volcano. It is, and you can see Mount Rainier from Seattle. You can see it everywhere. It's fucking huge. You can see it in Yakima. You can see it in Seattle. So if that starts erupting, and that is going to mess up the Snoqualmie Pass. I don't see how. I just feel like this pass is going to become an issue. And especially when you have millions of people trying to go. And especially if it is depending on whatever goes with the weather. And then if they, they could get up there and then there's problems, one fucking truck turning and causing a wreck, and then it's a fucking pile up, and then nobody can cross. So anything can go down, and it has been going down. This is like, it's been going down all fucking year, or all season for sure. I've seen so many fucking wrecks with these big trucks. And then there's the whole thing about that they're just handing out licenses in one state. They don't need to do it. You know, you're not from here, take a job. So the so all these people trying to go up there, then they will, it's like, it keeps seeming like they're just gonna have to walk. Like there's gonna be all these people that are gonna have to walk. It's like, it keeps reminding me of like the Dahmers, like that whole expedition or whatever, and then they got stuck in the mountains in the snow, and then they ate each other. Keeps, but you know, it wasn't like it was like a serious situation. It wasn't like you know, like something like where the people wanted to. They were like really stuck up there in the weather. And you know, I think it was maybe these mountain ranges. But anyways, it just makes me think about that, and all these people trying to cross out of there by foot, and what a mess it's going to be. Because even if a million people start trying to get on that road, oh my God. Right now, the 5 right through that area, which that other levee breaking caused more problems in Seattle. And so the 5 is totally backed up. When I talked to my sister, she said that because all these other roads are closed down, that it's making everybody have to go on these one roads that don't normally go on these roads. And she said the traffic's really, really bad. And I saw a video of somebody talking about, you know, stay home if you don't need to go somewhere. But, you know, all these people got to go somewhere. They all got to get to work and shit. Here comes Stella. It's like a little premature, lady. Oh, Lord. I swear. You think puppies are a lot of work? Wait till you have a senior one. Senior dog. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. And they're very needy, too. Whiny, needy. Oh, God, and I love her so much. I don't want her to go. I just want her to get better. So far, what is this, the 4th day? I've given her the inflammation stuff. I'm not seeing a big thing yet. But she, like I said, yesterday after being outside and then coming in, she started in with this whole friggin' snorting, coughing, sneezing, whatever. I'm not even sure. I was like, do you need to blow your nose? What is going on? I kept trying to rub, like, right here. She's not doing it right now, but oh my God, last night, she couldn't stop. I love you too, lady. And so, anyways, I keep trying to say how extremely bad this is going to be. And now it is narrowed down already to one escape route. Millions of people. So shit starts going and people start trying to leave the traffic and stuff. People are going to be trapped. That's all there is to it. People are going to be trapped. And there's not going to really be an escape. And even if they do try and go towards Oregon, it's going to be the tsunamis. They're going to be wiping out the roads and the people. And this guy who was doing this whole science thing, he was saying it's going to come up further than what they are saying, because he was explaining it. I can't remember what all he was saying though. But it's going to come, the water is going to come in pretty far. And so people are not going to be able to, they're going to be trapped on roads and stuff. And then they're just going to be washed out to sea, I guess. Man, that just seems so fucking brutal. Ugh. And then, like, I'd rather just have it just, like, take me out quick. I'm always, like, a take me out quick kind of person. Like, I don't like this long, drawn-out thing. So, anyways, but, yeah, I think there will be a real problem with escaping. And, there really is going to be a mass amount of people. They're going to go all at once. And so I don't know, just starts rushing in my mind all these different people that I know over there. And you just don't know what's gonna go, how it's gonna go. I mean, I know it's gonna be bad, and I feel like it's really close. And definitely the landscape will change. And I had no idea the water was going to come up so high up here. So I don't even know what's going to happen here. I don't think I'm meant to be in that, or I would have never been moved from there. I think that was the whole thing about them, getting evicted and stuff, was it was time for me to move and go somewhere else. And so I don't think that this, either I'll be moved or something will happen. Because even though all this water is going to come up and change there, it's got to come up a long ways. Because where it goes up, so it goes up and it chews off California, Oregon, and Washington State. Just all the coastal is gone. But over here by where it comes up, because it goes way up, and like it takes out parts of New Mexico, parts of Idaho, parts of Utah, Colorado, all these places. And so all the water comes up. I don't think that's going to happen as fast. Like it will be, I don't know. I don't know how it's all going to go down. That whole coastline, I think, is going to change, like it's all going to go together. Like that whole thing is going to be going at once. California, which there's more earthquakes going. There's some more stuff going on in the Bay again. And I don't remember all the stuff. But so it's going to, and Bay is by San Francisco. So it's going to go up that whole point and shift all of that. And it's even going to kind of go up into Canada some. So the whole coastline is going to change right there. And then there'll be more things because the Mississippi is going to change. The eastern border is going to change. And and then this whole big thing that comes up from the south, which who knows what that's going to be about. But this one that's going on right now, that is definitely a part of this change that's happening on the West Coast. And it seems that we're in it. Now, I think I saw somebody else talking about the evacuation situation. Because it really is like these people are being evacuated, being taken out of there before it gets really bad. Because it's going to get so much worse. And so, and who knows what day it's going to happen. I mean, if all these people who think like this big stuff is going to be happening from the 19th to the 21st, I think the guy who said it was the medical or the science, like the one who was reading all these mathematical equations, trying to figure this stuff out or whatever. I'm pretty sure he said between the 19th and the 21st, he thought it was going to happen. So, I don't know, but it's to me, it's like in the midst of happening. It's like it's already started. It's like the first domino is already knocked and it's in motion. However it ends, we'll see, but it's in motion now. And whatever is going to be, it's going to, the people who survive are going to be changed. It's going to create a huge thing that's going to occur from this disaster. This is going to change people's, it's going to just change a lot of things. And energetically, when this goes, it's going to affect, it's not going to just be, because I think lots of people know people on the West Coast. They have friends and family over there. It's gonna hit hard. Just like it's weird because like I didn't know anybody in New York, and when the towers went, we were all hit really hard with that. It was just like, oh my God, this is horrible, and it's gonna be like that. Only to me, it's gonna kind of be worse because this is gonna be a lot of people, millions of people. Not just like a few thousand. This is going to be millions. And it's going to be really scary. Like, a lot of people's worst nightmares. So, I think a lot of the reason why some of these things are our worst nightmares because we've already experienced them. Like, we've had these experiences before. We've had experiences of drowning. We've had experiences of falling, of things falling on us, and all of that stuff. Like, this isn't like the first time this has ever happened to a soul. We've all been through all of these different experiences. So I think it's a hard watch for sure. And that's why I'm always like, I just hope it's quick. This is quick for her. So anyways, I don't know. We'll see how it goes down. But it's already down to me, it was my worst nightmare. It's like, oh, we've got one exit now. And like I had said, all the people, like everybody thinks of Seattle. No, it goes up the coast further. Seattle isn't the top. That's more up by Bellingham than when you cross into Canada. Where I was saying, it seems like some of these people are going to have to go in that direction to go to Canada. And I don't even know what the border is going to be like. I mean, it's not like it's fenced or anything. Like, you could just go running, which probably will be chaos. People just crossing through the roads and crossing through the fields. But the fields are all wet, so your cars would get stuck. And so, I don't know. But anybody who tries to leave from there, they got to fucking go down the 5, then go through Seattle traffic, then to get over to the 90. It's like, oh my God, the biggest fucking mess. Like, I know I talk about it a lot, but you'd have to see it. You'd have to know. Like, I used to sit in my cabin and think like, oh my God, could see it and see it and see it. And then here it is right here happening. It's like, oh my God. I just feel like some of these people are so lucky that they're out already. Hopefully they did go kind of further away from there. Hopefully they didn't just go down to the local hotel because it's going to be such a fucking mess, man. So anyways, that just seems like, we're on the verge of something big happening. And it seems kind of, I don't know. I feel like there's a whole group of us that keep talking about it. And I said something even to my brother yesterday, and he's like, yeah, well, what if nothing happened? What if nothing? It's like, well, it's your life, it's your gamble. I approach it different, I'm like, which our approach on the land thing, I knew when they're sitting there, oh no, we're just going to leave it. We're just going to keep it. We don't want to. I knew it would be within a couple days. It'd be back. No, we really want to sell it. Now they've got a new scheme. And so I'm like, nope, it's divide. I'm not signing off on anything. It's got to be divided now. I'm done with all this bullshit. Divide it, and then they can do whatever the hell they want. Then it's up to them. So anyways, we'll see what goes next. And who knows? Maybe, it's going to get divided and I'm going to go move and live in Texas. Because it's definitely on the map where this is. It's right in the middle. It's like an hour outside of Dallas. So I'm sure there's going to be disasters that are going to go on in Dallas and definitely Houston. And Austin's already been having lots of stuff going on. So bigger cities are all going to be hit with all different things. So it could be tornadoes. It could be TERRORISTS. It could be any, a BOMB comes barreling down. It could be anything because big cities are going to turn into a lot of chaos and stuff. And a lot of everything. There's going to be a lot of scary stuff everywhere. To me, it seems like. So anyways, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Whatever's about to go down is going to go down. But there is lots of people are just like, nothing's going to happen. Why do you even think about that? And then there's a group of us. So it's about to happen. It's about to happen. You better get ready. And the other people are like, there's nothing to worry about. You big old worrywart. It's like, okay, well, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We'll know soon enough. Is it our insight showing us? And, You are, to me, it isn't even just like they're cut off from their inside. It is a part of the program. They're not supposed to see what's coming. They're not supposed to know ahead of time. And then you think, well, why would these certain group know? And then they keep saying it and saying it, but there ought to be something about the healing with that. If it is that they, start being like, well, why wasn't I listening? Why would I think this way? Why would I not look at this? It's their own process of healing. If it goes down, like what I'm saying, and a whole ton of other people are saying, then in all the people who don't want to listen, who keep wanting to be like, oh, it's nothing. Oh, this stuff happens all the time. There's people who still look at the sky and say, oh, this is totally normal. What are you talking about? This is a normal sky. Yesterday, I even said on my TikTok, I said, well, all you people who think this is normal, we're not from the same world. Because this is not the world I came from. It did not have a sky like this. They did not have all different clouds. And there's still something that is like sucking the clouds. It's like this vacuum pulling them. And even these ones, and they were spraying at the same time, because you could see them, these long things. And I don't know if they were breaking them down or what, but they started like coming apart, but it was real organized. It wasn't like random. It was like all these little design was showing. It was really weird. So anyways, and the way it's being sucked. So anyways, whatever's going on in the sky is whatever. The world I grew up in, there's nothing like it. Nothing. And yeah, they started putting all this stuff up there that makes all these colors. But then I also think that there's these atmospheres coming together, these different realms, these different vibrations. And we're entering a field of a different world, a different reality. So, or other realities are merging with ours. And that probably has something to do with this whole Atlas thing. So I don't know. And whatever, tomorrow's supposed to be this big day with the Atlas and stuff. So it's supposed to be a big day. Well, a lot of people think, tomorrow's going to be a big day. This is this could be our calm before the storm. It could be, we just got to see what happens. And you can't sit here and fret about it, though. You can't just go, hide in a closet and be scared. You gotta really get it through your head that none of this is real. You just, whatever, you go out of the storm, whatever, if you're in the West Coast and it comes in on you, it will just be like you just walk out of your body and walk into a different thing. It's nothing that you need to be like worried. And I think, so many people, it's so ingrained into their consciousness about death, and that you need to worry about it, but it's not real. They made it up. And it really has a mind hold on people, but they had to use it because how would religion work? How would they be able to gain so much control if they didn't hold it over your head? If you don't do things right, you're going to go to hell. You're going to burn forever. You're going to die. This is your only shot at life and all this stuff. It's all, to a form of manipulation and control. And, religion is a pretty extreme thing to go through and create this whole thing just to control the people. And this is, you got to remember that this is like a new reality. This is a reset to reality that they created. And so whatever, and we're from all these different realities. This isn't our first one here with them. And we've come from a bunch of different ones. And some of us come in with resentment. We come in with, we already know what these motherfuckers are doing. We got to spread the word. We got to get people to see and understand. But you can't get people to see or understand what they're not programmed to see and understand. And so they will keep writing their programming because it has to do with what they're here to go through or what they're here to heal. So it's just like, well, my brother's sitting there saying that, so I'm not going to argue. It's like, okay, it's your life. Gamble how you want to gamble. It's up to you. You don't want to prepare and think like that this could be bad, then, live the way you want to live. But it might be short. Which, I don't know. The whole thing is weird because I'm out here. I don't know. There's a lot. We just got to see what goes down. But I did stay up and watch Donald last night, which it was like, I knew it was going to be bullshit. It's like, it's so goddamn. If you've been watching him for a long time, it's like, dude, how many times are you going to say this shit? And it's like, this is where people start coming up with like, oh, he's so ego driven and all he does is talk about himself and stuff like that. It's like, how hard are you got to just keep pressing this and pressing this and pressing this? Like, if these people don't get it yet, they're not going to get it. Like, god damn. It's like, God, oh, I've done all this and this is what they did and I've had to overcome this and look at how great we're doing and things are going to get better. It's like, okay, well, why don't you fucking send out these motherfucking checks that you've been saying that things are so fucking great? Send us out some fucking checks. Like, so many people are struggling out there. And this is sad too. Like, I saw this woman and so she's in her car and we're, sometimes when you see people and their teeth are all jacked up and it's out of poverty, it's like hard to not feel empathy and compassion for, like, God, that sucks, man. So her teeth, I don't know, we're missing a lot, whatever. Something was weird with her teeth. And she's poor. She lives in her car and she's been living in her car for a long time, but she works full time, but her job doesn't pay her enough to get a place to live where she lives. And besides, they've got that issue. So many people, they did stuff with the credit score. So people have a problem with their credit score. And then they did this whole thing with pets. So they've made so many obstacles for people who want to try and move out and get a place. So there's tons of reasons why people are living in cars and campers and all that stuff. But some of these women who are all on their own, it can be dangerous out there. And so they're just trying to find a safe place to sleep, especially when they got to get up and go to work in the morning. It's like they got to sleep in their stinky ass car and get up and then find some place to clean up so they don't stink, and then go in to a job so that they can have money for gas and food, I guess. And because you don't even have it that well, you've got your phone, but you can pay that online, but you don't have utilities. I don't know. I mean, if some of these people have a credit card or something, like, I don't know. Some of the people probably had them before they went homeless. It did it again. Now, it just switched again. What in the world? I've never seen it do that. So anyways, this lady, so she went and she was asleep. She was going to sleep and it was a bank parking lot. So she goes over and she finds a little cozy spot, and to go and settle for the evening. And she sees some employee comes out, this older woman. She comes out and she's eyeing her. She said she just kept eyeing her and looking at her. And so she, is giving her the mad dog the whole time out to her car. Then she gets in her car and she's still giving her the stink eye, driving up next to her, looking at her. So she leaves. So the lady in the car is like, I knew she was going to call the cops. I just knew it. And so then the cops show up. And so then she has to have a whole interaction with these cops. And they tell her that she has to leave. And so she has to go find a different place. And so she goes to another, I think it was another bank parking lot. Which it makes me, when I'm sitting here listening to these stories, I'm always like, where would I go? Because that one lady who was going into church parking lots, and then that whole thing happened, the church called the cops on them. It's like, you can't even go and sleep in a church parking lot? They're going to call the cops on you? It's like, what in the bitter world do we live in? A horrible, bitter, hateful people out there. So she goes to some other bank parking lot. So she's got herself a little cozy spot, just trying to, settle in her car. Like, I swear to God, I don't go in parking lots just looking for people to harass. So a guy comes into the parking lot in his truck, sees her, goes and circles over to her, sitting there staring her down. Then he goes and circles around the bank. Then he goes up to the ATM. He gets his money. Then he circles back around, looks at her. Then he goes, she said, I knew he was going to call the cops. And then here comes the cops again. And so she was crying in her video. And she's saying, why are people so mean? She's like, I'm not trying. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to live in my car. And why are people causing so many problems? Like, why are people so fucking hateful? It's like, sister, I don't fucking know. I don't understand. Why? What is it all just created from watching the news? Is it just all this hateful division? You don't give a shit about people who are suffering in hard times? Like, that's a shift. And when you want to sit here and talk shit on the boomers had a fucking way better attitude towards people who were fucking suffering. They were there for them. They try and help them. And nowadays, it's like, oh, they'll step over you. They don't give a shit. I mean, and it makes me think about, when there was the Depression and people had a hard time with food and somebody had a sandwich, they give somebody part of their sandwich. They didn't go hide and eat it real quick. It was like this whole thing, of like where we go one, we're all in the same fucking problem. And it's not just like your problem, it's all of our problem. And that attitude has completely changed. I think that's why they even created that slogan, to try and bring it back around. But man, other generations were really raised different. It really was. And it's not just the parents, it was the times. Different times bring out different things in people. And there's something about, hard times make strong men, and easy times make soft men. And but if you were to ask some of the people who were going through these times, and you said, well, this isn't hard times, this is why it's all softies. And but they all think, well, no, this is hard times, this is really hard times. But there was also, I saw this, somebody was showing these fashion shows, like what is that guy? Gavinci? No, I think it was the one that starts with an A, and it does suits. I can't remember but one of these big names, and it was a fashion show. And so it was showing back in the 80s, I think, 70s or 80s, the fashion show. And, it must have been the 80s. Because I think in the 70s, it was like leisure suits and stuff. So I think it was the 80s. But it was this more rugged, more boxy kind of suit. And the guy had more, his hair wasn't all groomed. It was all like, but he was very, I don't know, kind of Viking-ish looking in a suit. He looked rugged and manly in this big suit, and he's walking, and he was walking like a man, and really good looking guy. And then they showed the same brand, their current fashion show. Oh my word. And I swear to God, part of fashion is pushing. It's like this ultra feminine, like these little scrawny, real feminine guys wearing these real feminine clothes, and nothing masculine at all. And so when you see like the brand, pushing one thing, and then it goes this other way, and then we have all of these guys that are like that. Like I had said, years ago, like there's not guys out here. Well, there is some guys that can go out and cut down trees and shit like that, but there's a lot of guys out there who don't know how to go and do anything rugged. Go split some wood. I wouldn't know what to do. Go cut down a tree. Go build a house. Go fix a car. It's like they don't know how to do any of the stuff that men used to do. Men used to, like, there was a point in time, and there still is in like Amish communities and some certain communities, where they do go to cut down trees and take the bark off. and build houses and stuff out of it. And that used to be, what you had to do. There was nobody who was going to come in and do it for you. And so that does create stronger people, because they have to do what they have to do. And that's the thing, is that people don't realize, like, that there was and the boomer generation was the aftermath of World War II. So it was like a lot of hard times. And my grandpa, like a lot of people's grandparents are from the Depression. And that was a whole different way of how you were raising your kids too. It's like, I mean, there was lots of people who was like, you don't borrow money, you pay for things when you get them, because it's yours then. But then, I don't know, the government came in and started saying, well, we can tax you. We can take your land. If you don't pay your taxes and you've paid it all your life, then we'll just take it away from you anyways. And now, they're doing this whole thing of trying to get all the people to go into nursing homes so that they can take their stuff when they get older too. They've always got a scheme going. They've always got a plan, but then they've got to put it into people's minds, like cause this generational divide and cause you to hate your parents. So you want nothing to do with them. And then, so you don't get any of their stuff when they go. And because it used to be, and I've said this, and this seems harsh, and I don't mean like, oh, well, this is what I would do. But when you, but when you're dealing with certain things, it brings up certain things. And so on this land thing, which it starts being, it's kind of, becomes kind of unfair in this scenario, because like it was your dad who went and bought this land, and then he marries somebody, and then he dies. Well, it would be the family's land, and you, however you dealt with the wife would be how you dealt with the wife. A lot of wives were given the boot. They were like, you're out, get out of here, get off our land. And that's probably why they started making some of these laws to protect some of these people. But where it becomes like, then it goes, so he buys the land, and then he lives there, has his wife living there, then he dies, then it splits in two. And so it goes to, half goes to her. Well, the thing is like, now she's like, well, I'm old, I'm about to die, and I just want a little bit of money and all that, this whole thing. But half of it goes to her kid. Like, how is that? Like, that is not right. It used to be that the land would stay in the family, like the family's name. It would stay for that family, and that family could build up and build up. But see how they're like bringing a wrecking ball into shit. And to me, ethically, I wouldn't kick off my stepmom. I would say, stay living there until you die. But when you start dividing up how the land's going to be split, it should go to the family. It shouldn't be going out to, like, oh, here, you take it. I don't know. Doesn't seem right to me. So, and I do think that they changed some of the laws because there was people who would be like, get off our property, and not give a shit about the person's spouse. But it shouldn't be, when it starts being divided, that it's going to go to this other person. And half of it. So anyways, that's, you just don't think about some of these things until you're in the middle of it. And then it's like, this is the whole thing is just like, there's so much nonsense going. And then you want to sell off some of it, then to me, we're dividing it right now. Because this person who's trying to buy it, you don't want to recognize they're a schemer and a scammer, and that they are just moseying in to take this whole thing. It's like, no, I want it divided now. And if we end up selling ours or whatever, or if I go move out there or whatever, it's going to have a fence thing. This is like no trespassing. You do not come over here. You want him to take over your area? You want him to just, because he was already out there, the guy the surveyor or whatever, the guy who does the land, some county person. And the guy who is trying to buy it, he's already started moving on. There's nothing. He's just started moving shit. And then that guy told him, you can't be doing that. And he said, well, I'm about to move a house out here. He's just going to move a fucking house right onto the property. It's like, dude, you you cannot. And then, some little old lady who's desperate for money, she's not even considering the shenanigans that are going on. And then she's like, well, you guys can deal with it after I'm dead. No, that's not how this is going down. And I don't care if I seem like a freaking bitch about this whole thing. No fucking way. It's bullshit. Now it's not even just going to another family. Now it's going to some fucking stranger. Like, this is bullshit. So, anyways, that's my rant. I am always on a rant, I think. It's like, it's just some, I don't know. It's just like that part of my personality is coming out in this, the shenanigans in this world. So, anyways, but I have eaten like half my pan of brownies. Probably eat the other half today. But I'm going to make that lemon bread too. And so, I don't know. I just focus on what there is to get done, what there is to do in a day. And the things that get brought up, it's like to look deeper, look deeper at yourself, look deeper into your own ethical stance, your integrity, your morals, because, it is the bullshit of like people kicking out spouses when their partner or their husband dies and then saying, because I've seen this in movies, and then they, family comes in and boots out the lady and leaves her as out in the streets, and that's not right to do. But that's, where lawmakers and stuff started coming in and putting their fucking injecting into our fucking business because of unethical stuff. That's the whole point of where this fucking CPS was able to fucking come in. And they probably are the ones who started out. Here, let's commit the crimes. Then we'll say we need this agency, and then we'll bring them in, and then we'll get in everybody's business. And, but, the people beating their kid, doing all of these things is why these things come. It's like, we need to freaking step up, not be fucking each other over, not abusing each other, not doing illegal, corrupt in things that have no ethics or integrity, that are immoral. Like, we are the ones who have to step up, because it's like that they they filled in the gaps, but we were the problem at some point, because people just fuck each other over and don't give a shit. And that all comes from these different soul scenarios playing out too. And so different people come here to play out these different scenarios to learn and see what it's like to be on the other side, is typically how it goes. What is it like to be the one getting fucked? And then this system steps in and, like, oh, well, we know this is going to happen, so we'll be right there. And we'll just infiltrate into your lives, into your storylines, into your existence, taking your energy, sucking the life out of you. So anyways, it all goes together, though. It wasn't just done to us. We played a part. People with the lack of compassion, lack of empathy, the lack of integrity is a part of the creation of this world. So, and that's the part of the experiment. That's part of like seeing, is it the chicken or the egg? How does it all go together? And we're all here playing parts to show. But to me, every day you get to pick what part you're going to play. Are you going to be an asshole, or are you going to try and be a good person? and there is no good or bad, but there is a sense of, integrity, compassion, empathy. And that is, the polar opposite of friction and hatefulness and bitterness and revenge and all of that stuff. My stomach's growling. So anyways, but, how to get there is working on yourself. Because, a lot of these people who hate everybody, it's because they hate themselves. They hate themselves to the core. They don't like themselves. They don't like their family. They don't like their parents. They don't like any extension of them. And so they take it out on the world. And that's why it's, so important to learn how to love yourself. Learn how to forgive your parents. Learn how to forgive the people who have done you wrong. Let go of it and start building yourself up and stop tearing yourself down, because that is the process. That's the process of healing. So you got to learn how to love yourself. And you got to overcome shame, fear, guilt, a lot of stuff. But you got to learn how to love yourself, because then you can learn how to love everybody. Then you can spread the love. So learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody, and then learn how to have the day you want to have. Because, yeah, I mean, and we're getting tested on that every day. You're going to just get caught up in the drama, or you're going to just stand back and watch the show. And we've been told over and over, just the show, get your popcorn, just watch the show. And so that's what you gotta do. But it does bring up stuff. It does, like, how fucking irritating is this? So anyways, we'll see how irritating this day goes. We'll see what they offer us today on the new shit, the new episode for today of how shit's going down. So we'll see today's episode, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.